delicious. Good thing decided the astronauts might not like eating out of these plastic bags all the time, and we got to have a tray. And all of our food for Skylab was in this little tray, and it looks more like a normal meal at home. I don't think it worked out all that well because we eventually got rid of the tray and went on to the space shuttle meals. Space shuttle meals, once again, have a lot of dehydrated food, such as the spinach up here. But we also have off-the-shelf food. This one they call candy-coated peanuts. Who knows what those are?
M&M's.
M&M's. We fly a lot of M&M's on the space shuttle. And this is like a MRE from the military. If you've been in the military and you've been deployed, you've probably consumed some MREs. They're not delicious, but they're edible. This one's beef steak. And everything has Velcro on it so that you can Velcro your food to wherever you need to. Our pants have Velcro on them, the walls have Velcro on them, so you can just use the Velcro to keep your food in one place. Even our utensils have Velcro. And you see this dot here? That red dot tells me that is the commander's utensil. Every person on the shuttle has a color. I was the pilot. My color was yellow. I could always tell when somebody was stealing my M&Ms because it had a yellow tag on it, like that. Before we actually go into space, many months before, we go and test our food. This is what they're doing here. They're at food tasting. We have the opportunity to sample all the foods we might be interested in and learn how they work before we go into space. After that, we choose a menu. We tell them what we would like for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for every day of our mission. Then the dietitians determine what you may be lacking. Do you have enough calories? Do you have enough protein? And are you getting all your vitamins? Maybe you need a little more potassium in your diet. And they'll make recommendations as to how you can complete your menus. And then you can decide whether or not you're going to listen to the dietitian and change your menus or not. What you have on board the shuttle to eat is really up to the astronaut. And this is where they go on the shuttle, in a food locker. And each person has their food locker. Nobody cares once you get into space what meals you eat when. You can eat M&Ms, all your M&Ms the first day, and then move on to something else the next day if you wanted to. Nobody really cares. They put it on board, and it's up to you to figure out what your meals are going to be when you get there. It's really hard 6 months out to decide what you're going to be in the mood to eat on day 2 of your mission. This is our galley. That's where we rehydrate our dehydrated food and where we heat it up if it needs to be heated up. And basically, it's our little space shuttle kitchen. Shrimp cocktail is a fun one. I like to show people this. This is the dehydrated shrimp cocktail, and this is the rehydrated shrimp cocktail. Most astronauts like to fly shrimp cocktail. And the reason is it is the only spicy food that we have that's really got a kick to it. And taste buds tend to want something spicier. Food tends to get bland in space for some reason to our taste buds, so we like to have shrimp cocktail to liven it up a little bit. And we fly some fresh foods that the food folks just get right at the supermarket. We fly crackers and M&Ms and maybe some of those little puddings that don't have to be in the refrigerator. These are fruit bars. Lots of different items. We even fly some fresh fruit, apples, perhaps pears. We never fly bananas. No commander will allow them on board because bananas tend to smell bad. Even if you've eaten the banana, the peel smells bad. So it smells like rotten bananas for the whole rest of your mission. So nobody allows bananas on board.
And
this is our drink bag over here. You see that silver thing? It's like a Capri Sun pouch. And our straw has a little clip on the end of it so nothing will leak out because gravity's not there to help it stay in. And you see the other yummy foods that we have to offer. Strawberries kind of look a little funky. special meals. Crews tend to pack special things. Maybe
Oh,
it's
nice.
chocolate in the
Brilliant.
shape of astronauts or something. This crew decided they wanted to have hot dog day, so they packed tortillas. Tortillas is the bread of choice because regular bread crumbles and gets all over everywhere and in your eyes and stuff. So you see here he's put ketchup on and some mustard and some relish, and he's going to slap a hot dog in there, and everybody's going to have a hot dog for lunch that day. So we do have some special meals sometimes.
Nice. Brilliant.
So I'm back. Did I go too far? There we go. Salt and pepper. As you might imagine, in the weightlessness of space, if you tried to shake out salt and pepper, it would just get in your eyes and be miserable. So our salt and pepper is suspended in a liquid so that we can squeeze it onto our food if we'd like to have some extra salt and pepper on our food. Okay, so that, along with you finishing up your lunch here, is all about food in space. And how we can have fun with our food is the next part. Children, astronauts play with their food. And I know your mothers have been teaching you really hard not to play with your food.
Yes, Mom.
But I'm afraid to tell your moms that most astronauts will play with their food.
What?
Greg here has squeezed out balls of juice from his drink bag, and he's blowing the two balls together to see what happens when they crash into each other. And now he's got one big, out-of-control ball of juice that's headed for the wall, and he's going to have to drink it out of the air before it becomes a million balls of juice all over the place. So he does. He drinks it right out of the air. The commander, on the other hand, is hungry, and he sees a cookie floating by. So he's just going to eat the cookie right out of the air. The guys all of a sudden decided they're sharks for the day, and they've released goldfish into the air. And they're diving in on their goldfish.
Oh, nice. Brilliant.
So astronauts are really big children at heart, and we like to play with our food. I think that was the last slide. Whoops, come back here. I went too far again. Anyways, that is food in space. So as you're finishing up your meals, I'm sure some questions might have come up about food or about